Ready when you are, Sunita.
Thank you very much, Alan. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again. To all you viewers, advisors, small businesses, to everyone that's been with us since the first session. Today is the 54th session. Welcome to all of our new viewers today. Hopefully we will be able to answer all of your questions. Usually we have another person answering questions via the Q&A, but towards the end, we will read through the questions and answer them. If I am able to answer anything, I will go ahead and do so throughout this presentation. Can you go ahead and move to the next one? Thank you so much. So today, this is presented to you by the Northern California SBDC, the Finance Center. I belong with the Finance Center. I am the Associate Director. If you've been here before, you've noticed that there's another person, it would be Scott Rogalski, that actually does the introductions and also goes through all of the slides. Today, unfortunately, he is not here, but we will take care of you and take care of things. Alan Montague is here, also with the SBDC. Carrie Ellenwood with SBA is here, and also David Castaneda is also here with SBA. So they will speak a little bit later on in regards to what's going on currently with SBA and any new information. So like I said, today this is brought to you by the Northern California SBDC. We are supported by SBA and the state of California, so that way we're able to provide you no-cost services. We can help you with a finance center, any finance center needs. We can put packages together for you. We can assist you with that. We can also assist you with your disaster loan needs. I know that with the fires that have just occurred locally and in Northern California, people are also going to need assistance with filling out those documents. We are now pros at doing that, so we can assist you go through all of that as well. We also have local centers to you in 36 counties. So please go to ASKSBDC and then you can find all of our centers there. Thanks, Ellen. We'll go to the next. We're just gonna get into it now. We're gonna go through the agenda really quickly. We have our disclaimers, EIDL and PPP parameters, which we do often. I'm going back a little bit to PPP loan forgiveness, to what we did a couple of weeks ago, because that has been requested heavily. So I just figured I'd go through it again for all of us new people or people that have been here since the first session. SBA is going to go ahead and give their update. We're going to go through some upcoming webinars and also Q&A. So next, please. Thanks, Ellen. Disclaimer. Always, things are changing all the time. Things are not changing as fast as they used to in the beginning, that is for sure. Right now, things are a little bit stagnant in regards to PPP and EIDL, and if we're gonna get additional PPP or anything like that. So this information was correct when I put this presentation together as of this morning. I've checked the websites. It seems that everything is really stagnant at this point in time. EIDL, though, has opened back up for most businesses, including nonprofits, 501c, 3, 4, and 6. EIDL Advance has unfortunately closed. If you had not received it yet, unfortunately, you will not be receiving that money. Do not hesitate to apply for EIDL if you haven't yet. I know most of our viewers today know about EIDL and PPP. It was brought to my attention the other day that there are still a lot of people that don't know that EIDL is available to them as a small business. So if you have any specific questions that you need answered, please reach out to us, or you can ask it here at Q&A, on the Q&A, or you can call us at 833-ASK-SBDC. That number again will show up towards the end. Unfortunately, PPP has closed out as of 8/8. We don't know if it's going to open back up again. That is still has not been signed off. We don't have any additional information. Once legislation is back from recess, I believe it's next month, hopefully we'll find out some more answers. Next, please. So EIDL and PPP parameters, I'm going to go over this in depth. And the reason is because there are so many questions on this, and I want to make sure that everybody understands exactly what this is. So the parameters, I did put EIDL here, but I want everybody to know that this is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It is a loan that you have to pay back. And the rate is 2.75 for profits and 3.75 for nonprofits. Sorry, switch that. 2.75 for nonprofits and 3.75 for profit businesses. The term is 30 years. Payment deferral is 11 months, but interest does accrue the day you receive the loan funds into your account. There might be collateral that is required. So collateral over $25,000 for a loan, you'll need to personally guarantee, and over 200. So collateral over 25,000, sorry, I apologize. They're gonna get a UCC 1 or UCC, and then anything over 200,000 is gonna be a personal guarantee. It is not forgivable, it is a loan. What you're allowed to spend the money on is operating expenses, interest, debt payments, and cost of goods. So it is what is needed to keep the business open on a daily basis. The money cannot be used for expansion purposes, to pay off a loan, there's a caveat, or tax liens. So if you want to purchase a piece of equipment, you can't purchase that piece of equipment outright. But if you need to use it for the business, you can pay the payments on that. So it'd be normal operating costs. I believe Carrie is going to go into the bridge loan. It was a question previously. We do have clarification on that, and I'll let her go through that once SBA has a chance to talk towards a little bit towards the end. So PPP, Payment Protection Program, Paycheck Protection Program. I want people to understand it's regards to paycheck. A lot of people are asking, what can we use the funds for? And this is really to be used, majority of it, 60% or more towards paychecks. For your employees, you have a 1% loan. It's going to be either a 2 or 5 year term. And if your loan was funded before June 5th, then it would be a 2-year loan. If it was funded after June 5th, then it is automatically a 5-year loan. You can negotiate with your lender to extend it out to 5 years instead. At this point in time, I have not heard of any negotiations, but once we do, we'll definitely let you know. You can start paying 10 months after the covered period, but I also want you to know if this does turn into a loan, whatever's not forgivable, your interest accrues as of day 1. So I just want you to be really cognizant of that. Yes, you can pay in 10 months and apply in 10 months, but if there's any loan amount, then that loan amount plus the interest would be then accrued and need to be paid for. Payments will start then after the 10 months. So no collateral or personal guarantee. Forgivable, yes, up to 100%, and that also includes interest. So what can you spend it on? Majority of it, 60% or more towards your payroll costs. If you want best chance of forgiveness, then use that money towards your payroll costs as much as possible. 40% towards utilities, mortgage interest, monthly payments, and rent. And we're going to go more into depth into that in the few slides coming up. You cannot use it towards workman's comp, federal taxes, or employee portion of benefits. So next, please. Thank you, Alan. So general PPP FAQs, this came out on 8/11, and it's in regards to who can use the easy form of the loan forgiveness application. So they're saying sole props, independent contractors, self-employed individuals with no employees should use and complete the 358 easy form. We've been asked a lot to go ahead and help people fill these out. It is better for us to do this one-on-one with our advisors. And the reason is because everybody has a different scenario. The forms are all the same, but the questions are going to be a little bit different. The documents If you don't have a 641, then what else do you have? You know, what other documents do you have to be able to complete the loan forgiveness application? So we have to go through that and really walk you through that before you can start completing the forms. A lot of the lenders have this form online now, but we have not heard of anyone yet that has completed the forgiveness application and been forgiven as of yet. As soon as we do, just like everything else, we'll definitely let you know. So as long as a borrower submits loan forgiveness application within the 10 months of the completion of the covered period, the borrower is not required to make any payments until forgiveness is determined by SBA. Next, please. So loan forgiveness, payroll costs. Payroll costs incurred during the covered period is eligible. Payroll costs incurred before the covered period but paid during the covered period is eligible. If a borrower does not pay biweekly or more frequently, then it will need to calculate payroll costs for partial pay periods. The covered period for all is up until 12/31/2020. You have either 8 weeks if you're funded before the 5th, June 5th, or you have 24 weeks if you're funded afterwards. So if you funded before June 5th, you have between 8 or 24 weeks to ask for forgiveness or to use this money up. We do recommend the 24 weeks. It gives you a little bit more time to be able to use up this money, but you don't have to stretch it out to the full 24 weeks. You can use it up in 10 weeks, in 12 weeks, in 20 weeks. That is absolutely fine, but you have to have used up the money at this point in time by 12/31/2020. Sorry, my screen just went blank.
I've moved on one slide for you, Sunita.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I think the computer gets a little overheated when it turns off on me. So for purposes of calculating cash compensation, the gross amount should be used, not the net. So if you're still wondering, how do I use this money? I know people still have the PPP money they haven't spent yet. Also idle money they haven't spent yet. So this is how you'll spend the money correctly. You're going to use the gross amounts. And this is also the amount that you'll use on your forgiveness application. Payroll costs include all forms of cash compensation. So if they had tips and bonuses and commissions previously, you can pay that if you decide that you want to pay them that now, including hazard pay. I know that some businesses have now used hazard pay as part of their compensation to get people to come back to work. So cash compensation, it's still limited though to 100,000. So just be careful with that amount. Amount of compensation of owner employees. This is always a question that's been asked too, and it is confusing, and we understand. That's why we put this on these slides, is so that you're better equipped to be able to spend the money correctly. So that is eligible for forgiveness depends on the business type. We haven't gotten documentation on what exactly they mean about business type, but this is what's written in the documents. So I wanted to have what they have there on this slide so you can see it. And whether the borrower is using 8 or 24 weeks. Like I said previously, probably your best way to go about this is the 24 weeks, so that way you have more money, have more time to spend the money. You're not limited also. You can go up to $20,833. But if you spend it within the 8 weeks, for owner employees, you're maxed out at $15,384. Next, please. We're going to go over what health and retirement costs you can pay for. You can pay for group health. You can pay for what you normally did in the past. If you decided that you wanted to start paying for also the employee portion is not covered. This also allows you to, you could pay this amount that are paid or incurred during the covered period, and it's eligible for you to be able to pay. Employer contributions for employee retirement benefits that are paid or incurred during the covered period are also eligible, but just not the employee portion. I know a lot of people are trying to spend the money and spend it correctly. Just make sure you're not paying the employee portion. Next, please.
Sorry about the delay.
No worries. Thank you, Ellen. Loan forgiveness, non-payroll costs, eligible business mortgage interest costs, business rent or lease costs, and business utility costs incurred prior to the covered period and paid during the covered period are eligible for forgiveness. Non-payroll costs are eligible for loan forgiveness if they were incurred during the covered period and paid on or before the next regular billing date, or even if the billing date is after the covered period. I know it sounds very confusing. I'm saying it really fast. If you need us to slow down, just let me know. Or if you need to speak to an advisor one-on-one, they can go through this with you, and they can go a little bit slower and really dig into the questions that you have. Payments of interest on business mortgages you can use the funds for this on real or personal property, such as an auto loan. So previously believed it was just mortgages, but now they're saying you can use it for an auto loan. Caveat is, these are loans that should have been in effect previously. So not something that incurred now. So you should have it previously as well. If you have a new mortgage or a new lease, but you also had one previously to refinance, you're okay. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So this is kind of going over what I was just saying. So if a lease that existed prior to 2/15 expires on or after 2/15 and is renewed, this lease payment, you can use the funds to pay this. You can use the PPP funds to pay that. A service for the distribution of transportation refers to transportation utility fees assessed by state and local governments. I ask that you go to this link and that you look specifically if this applies to your business or not. It is something that you can use the PPP funds, but it can't be used for everybody. So I want you to look on this document, and I want you to go to this link, and I believe that Alan will also put it in the chat. So that way you are able to look to see if it applies to you. Thank you so much, Alan. We're a great team. So next is going to be SBA, and they'll give us any updates if they have it. And it'll be Carrie Ellenwood, who is the interim deputy director, and also David Castaneda, who is also with the SBA. So thank you so much. I'll let you guys take it from here.
Thank you, Sunita. This is Carrie Ellenwood with the Sacramento District Office, and we want to give you updates on some loan information. The PPP loan, as Sunita mentioned, has closed. There were over 5,000 loans made to small businesses. I'm sorry, 5 million loans made to small businesses for over $525 billion. The EIDL loan program is still open, and numbers we have as of August 15th, there have been 3,497,000 loans made for $184 billion. California has received 533,000 loans for over $33 billion. So our state receives the most of those loans than any other state in the country. One of the other questions that has come up, and we've had a few discussions about, is the ability for bridge loans to be fully repaid with an EIDL loan, which was the intent of that program. Originally, it was understood that it was the SBA bridge loan. We did a little further research with disaster and have gotten a confirmation from them that if any organization, either a bank or a not-for-profit lender, has made a bridge loan for the sole purpose of helping a small business get through the time until they receive their disaster loans, those loans can be fully paid off with the bridge loan, with the economic injury disaster loan that was made for that small business. So this is contrary to information we had previously, but as you know, this is a very large emergency disaster and things have changed, and I just wanted to give that update. In addition to that, we have some information as well for you regarding the wildfire disaster funds. There have been counties declared in California, and let me give you that list. Okay, so for the disaster loans in California that were the presidential declaration that was made on Saturday, the counties of Lake, Napa, San Mateo, Santa Cruz, Solano, Sonoma, and Yolo are available for disaster loans for your personal property. And in the contiguous counties, they are available for economic injury disaster loans. Those contiguous counties are Alameda, Colusa, Contra Costa, Glenn, Marin, Mendocino, Monterey, Sacramento, San Benito, San Francisco, and Santa Clara and Sutter. The physical damage application deadline, so this is for your personal property, your home, is October 21st, 2020, and the economic injury disaster loan period ends on May 24th, 2021. I have shared this information with Alan, and he will be able to send you all of the details on the economic injury disaster loans that are available, as well as the personal property loans that are available due to the fires. If you want more information, you can call the disaster organization at 800-659-2955, and you can go directly to our website at sba.gov, and you'll find information there on the disaster loan program and how you would apply for those. That's what I have for today, everyone. Thank you.
And the links to the English and Spanish version of that declaration are in the chat. Thank you for sharing them with us, Carrie.
And then this is David Castaneda with the SBA. I work with Carrie Allenwood. I'm an economic development specialist. SBA puts a lot of funding into our resource partners, like the webinar that you are listening today, by the Small Business Development Center. But we just want to make sure that you're using those resources in your area. So not only do we have the Small Business Development Center, but we also have our SCORE organization, which are volunteer individuals that most of them have been in business and want to help others in business. So that is also available to you, along with our Women's Business Center, who provide a lot of good webinars and also business consulting at no cost, as the SCORE does too. If you're interested in looking at these local resources in your area, you can visit our SBA.gov website and click on local assistance. You would just then put in your zip code. There's a drop down next to there to select either the SBDC, Women's Business Center, SCORE, or you can pick all of them, and the closest offices will pop up so you could look at them and also check out their websites, because they got a lot of good information and webinars going on. Now, let me also tell you about the information I received from our SBDCs in Northern California. I asked each one of the SBDC centers we have in Northern California, and they have grant opportunities that they are aware of. So for example, I'm just going to cover these really quick. Sonita will send these out on the along with the PowerPoint that you're looking at right now.
It's
So
in the chat, Dave. It's
okay.
There's a link, information on grants, for people can download that in the chat now.
Okay, so it's in the chat. So for example, San Joaquin County has a grant program. That particular one ends August 31st, but individuals or businesses can get grants up to 100K. Now, remember there's a lot of criterias to these grants. So not everybody's going to get the 100K. It could be based on amount of employees and other things. Also, a lot of these programs have deadlines, okay? And a lot of them are as funds last, okay? So take a look at them. There's links on every one that I sent. There's the county of San Joaquin, the city of Elk Grove, El Dorado County, Yuba County, Siskiyou County, Placer County, Nevada County, and let me see, scroll down here. Okay. I didn't get the one for Sacramento. There's other grants I didn't put on here because they haven't started them yet. Okay, so here's the thing. Get connected with your local SBDCs, get connected with their newsletter, their e-newsletter, because a lot of times in those newsletters, they have the information and links on how to apply for these grant opportunities. And also, they are available, the SBDC is available to help you fill out those grants and make sure that you get the proper information in there. Okay, and so they have this information on the chat, so please take advantage, and I encourage you to use the services of all those resource partners that we have out there to help you. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And we have that information, like David said, Alan put it in the chat. We'll keep that information up to date as soon as David provides it to us during these coming weeks. And Alan is going to go over our upcoming webinars. I also want to talk about Wednesday's webinar and the webinar on the 31st. So go ahead, Alan.
So stuff outside of this Monday and Wednesday. This afternoon, like every Monday for the last couple of weeks, we've got the third part of our food truck incubator. Tomorrow, we've got a really great webinar that it was done in Spanish earlier on in July. So it's about a case study of COVID exposure in the workplace. So how they dealt with that, the processes they have to go through to get clean and reopen again. We've got a repeat of our legal essentials for doing business online that's scheduled for Thursday. That was very popular, and we'll be doing that again. Our great restaurant program is doing something on the new to-go model, which is includes the concept of the provisioner. So not only are they giving you the food, the restaurant providing the food, cooked food ready, but also essentials like meats and drink and the rest of that. So that's been working pretty well. And then into September, we got like a 90-minute webinar on how to actually create your own food truck. We've got some things which are still confirming the dates on. If I wasn't in this meeting now, I'd be doing that. So one of the things is we had a great webinar in August on social media selling, and people wanted to know more about creating their Facebook shop. So that's something we currently have it scheduled for the 17th, yet to be confirmed for that date, on how to set up a Facebook shop. We've got a repeat of our diversity and inclusion in the workplace session that's on the schedule now for the 22nd. We've got two others. One is how to SEO like a pro, about he's like 15 steps to get for search engine optimization to get yourself really noticed online. And that's like the first 3 or 4 steps. It can be something if you've never done anything like that, you can start with, and all the way through to steps 13, 14, 15, which are intermediate, almost expert level. And then also, for those of you who might be more interested in Shopify rather than Facebook, so actually being able to get an e-commerce, how to launch an e-commerce website. So if you've got a major product, getting that in. So those are all things we've got coming up, as well as the ones that Sunita is going to tell you about for Wednesday and Monday.
Thank you, Alan. Yes, so this Wednesday we will have Case Force on again. We will have Mike Ballstad. He will take over for this Wednesday. We unfortunately, Scott and I won't be able to attend it. We have a meeting that day that we just cannot get out of. So Mike will take it over. Mike has been with us for a very long time. Mike Ballstad is a regional advisor. He has actually hosted this a few times for us and does a great job. So please come with your questions. Like the attorneys will be there. I'm not sure which ones. We will find out soon. But bring your questions that day. Ask them. If they can't answer it, then hopefully we can get it answered and get back to you, or it might be for the next week. Also on the 31st, Monday the 31st, we will have an advisor panel. Our advisor panel at this point in time will consist of Louise Dawson. Louise is the head of our restaurant group and does an incredible job with that. She has a lot of webinars on here too, but you can come and ask your questions for any restaurant, you know, advice or lease negotiations, that kind of thing too. She's also pretty great at that. We also have Shane Barker. Shane Barker is he deals with our social media. He also does, you know, communications. How are you going to start your business? Can you start it online? How do I do that? Bring all of those questions regarding marketing. He's a marketing wizard to that as well on the 31st. I am sorry, I believe Mike Balstead will also be there too. So how do you pivot? Do you need to sell the business? Do you want to buy a business? Those types of things. He will also be able to answer those questions. I believe right now we have those 3 people confirmed. I apologize that there is another one, but we'll also give you that information on Wednesday. Like we said, things are ever changing. We'll probably get a couple more people on, but bring your questions for that day. These are webinars. Please go to sbdc.events/network calendar to find all of this information. Now we are going to jump into our Q&A. We have 9 questions. 7 were already answered. And these are the ones that I think that everyone probably wants us to ask online, so that way everyone can get this information. So Jennifer is asking, are there rumors, expectations of another round of PPP loans? Should we hold off on applying? And I know, Jennifer, I think you ask this question probably every week, and it's a great question to ask. I get to recognize everyone's names when I'm reading through these, usually when I'm signing off or answering these questions. So Jennifer, we don't know yet. We know the rumors are there might be a second PPP, there might be forgiveness for 150 and under, but nothing has been signed off yet. When should you apply for forgiveness? Holding off might be a good idea, but if you really don't want to hold off and you want to apply today, then please do. We can try and help you with the application process, so reach out to us. But it is really a business decision for yourself. If you believe that you're going to get full forgiveness, then the timing on that shouldn't be as concerning. So if you need a little bit more assistance on that, just reach out to us, please. And the Q&A, this slide here, a lot of people joined us today via telephone, so you cannot see this. The ASKSBDC phone number is 833-ASK-SBDC. It's pretty easy. Also, you can go online and find out more information or watch previous webinars at ASKSBDC.com. You can find out about upcoming webinars as well. If you need assistance in Spanish, we do have a person on our team that is a Spanish speaker. You can still call 833-ASK-SBDC. We'd be happy to help you there. If you want to email us, you can at loans@asksbdc.com or espanol@asksbdc.com. So let's jump back into it again with the Q&A. Cherie, do we know yet how we are supposed to start paying back the EIDL grant that became part of the PPP loan? I am confident I will have the PPP forgiven, but I hate the thought of paying interest on the grant. How is this being resolved so that I'm not accruing interest for all these months while SBA is figuring out forgiveness and repayment? Cherie, on this one, I'm not sure who your lender is, but that is exactly the person that you would need to talk to. Since they're the ones that lent you the money, then if you want to start the forgiveness process right now, then you can go ahead and do that. So that way you ensure you pay the least amount in interest. If you need additional assistance on how to go through the application process, just reach out to us, 833-ASK-SBDC. I'm sorry, I can't say this, NIDHI, sorry, Nita, I believe. Can we spend the 100% on payroll for the PPP? Absolutely, 100%, you have more forgiveness if you do 100%, then you're guaranteed. If you spend the PPP on allowed payroll costs, if you need additional information, we did go through that on this, but just reach out to us and we can walk you through that. We pay our employees mileage reimbursement. Can that be used with PPP? I would think that that would be a benefit. If you've paid it in the past and you can document that you've paid it in the past, as far as I know, that is allowed. I don't know if SBA knows if they have a yay or nay on that or not.
I would think, Sunita, if it's been paid in the past, that would be allowable as you said, as a benefit or as a cost for their employees' work.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Gurdeep, EIDL, if a business files for bankruptcy after receiving funds, no fraud involved, is the loan discharged or still owed to SBA? The same question on PPP.
So any government guaranteed loan or loan that's funded by taxpayer dollar appropriations never goes away. So if you file bankruptcy, that will not be discharged in bankruptcy, either of the EIDL or the Paycheck Protection Program. That will continue to remain as an outstanding debt to the government.
Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Linda is asking, PPP average FTE. Our company figures FTE as 35 hours, not 40. Will this affect how much of our PPP will be forgiven? As the application states that 40 is full-time and 35 is, I think, 0.75 or half. So it just depends on how you applied, how many FTEs. If it's the same amount as previously and they're still working the same hours, then it should be the same now. That's how I see that. So even if they worked 35 hours before, that would have equaled half a person. Then if they're working 35 hours now, they still equal half a person. So equals the same amount. Hopefully I'm seeing this question correctly. That's how I see it with the loan forgiveness application. If they don't work 40 hours, that's okay. If they work 35, but they should be working the same amount of hours as they did in the past. That's what the PPP is there for, to be able to pay the employee even if they're not working or if they're not working the same amount of hours. Mimi is asking, if we spent the PPP and EIDL, do you recommend we go ahead and submit the forms for loan forgiveness? Now, my lender is Bank of America, and they mentioned mid-August timeframe, but I have not heard from them, hoping Congress will just automatically forgive all loans. Mimi, we don't know if the forgiveness, what that's gonna look like. When they come back from recess, maybe they're, first week or two, they'll really work hard on trying to figure out or agree on this. But as of right now, we don't know. If you want to hold off, then you can for sure. I believe they're back from recess in September, which is just a couple of weeks away. If B of A, they're probably going to do it online. So that's where you would apply for forgiveness. Tim is asking, this is an SBA question, Carrie or David, how long will the SBA take to process the PPP forgiveness once the lender has approved and submitted it to SBA? We are a lender and have forgiveness requests that are 14 days old, waiting for SBA to take action.
Thank you, Sunita. I don't have an answer for that question in terms of the number of days that the lender will be waiting for that forgiveness. I can look into that for you, though. If you put, email me at Carrie, C-A-R-R-I-E, period, Ellenwood, ELLINWOOD, at SBA.gov. And I will see if I can find out more clarity for you on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. And you can also reach out to me, Tim. I know you have my email address in case you need the info again. Maria is asking, I realize the automatical pay of principal, interest, and fees are through 9/27. Okay, so this is in regards to SBA paying loans until September for the payment for the P&I. Have you heard anything of this being extended? Maria says that she votes to extend it. She raises her hand, but I don't know if there's been any rumblings or not. And I know I'm asking you this question if it's not been signed off, so I won't ask you the question. Right now, Maria, we don't know if this is going to be extended or not. And unless it's written in law, the SBA cannot talk about it because they don't know. So unless it has been signed off, unfortunately, we can't tell you if it's going to be extended or not. There would be a great thing if they did. I've been thinking the same thing. It'd be nice for that to be extended for maybe a few more months, maybe three to 6 months. Steve is asking regarding PPP loans held by a company for sale. My small business client is selling his company to a friendly competitor. He has been advised by the SBA lender on the 7A business acquisition loan that the seller must repay his PPP loan or receive written forgiveness confirmation in order for the bank to finance the 7A loan. Wells Fargo holds the PPP loan but has not processed any forgiveness requests. How can the seller proceed with this sale when PPP forgiveness is still pending? Now, Steve, SBA can state that, I know in the past, and I don't know if this has changed yet, Carrie, but I believe PPP goes with the person that actually applied for it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And we're still waiting on the notice with the guidance for lenders on exactly how to handle that transaction. But currently today, as I understand it, the Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness will go with the individual that had the business at the time that was requested.
Thank you. And Steve,
you're welcome.
As the lender, they can request for that loan to be paid off or not before they lend money to purchase that business. So it is kind of up to them. They can follow the SBA guidelines, but if they want to be more strict, they're allowed to do so because they're actually the ones that are going to lend the money. What counties are covered for the fire-related EIDL? So I'm assuming it's the fire. It's the ones Carrie went over, but Alan, don't you have the press release uploaded into chat as well for all the counties that have been affected and can apply for EIDL?
I do, and I'll put it back in there as well.
Okay.
So it's back in the chat. So click on that and it lists out all the counties that were impacted.
Perfect, thanks. So Maggie is asking, I'm hearing through the grapevine that the feds are going to make the PPP completely forgiven under 150. Any confirmation? No, Maggie, we don't have confirmation until it is written in law. There is no confirmation. There could be rumblings. I'm sure if you're watching some of the webinars that have the representatives on there, I'm sure they're talking about it, but they are also saying that it has not been signed off and written in law yet. So there is no confirmation of that as of yet. So hopefully by next month, things will get cleared up. Liz is asking, I heard that the PPP, okay, we just went over that. Sorry, Liz, we don't have confirmation for that. Philip is asking, who should companies contact at SBDC to request assistance with preparing a business plan for a new S Corp? Would you please advise? Thanks. Hi, Philip. You can give us a call at 833-ASK-SBDC and we should be able to assist you. So it's 833-ASK-SBDC. SBDC. Linda says, thank you. Yes, we paid our employees mileage reimbursement in the past. Okay, great. Thanks, Linda. Jennifer, PPP, my lender is only accepting forgiveness applications for loans over 150,000 in anticipation of Congress forgiveness for smaller loans. Is it worth arguing with my lender that I'm ready to apply for forgiveness now? If your lender is not going to accept it, then I don't know if there is use in arguing with them. If they're not able to accept it at this point in time, then they won't be able to. You can be ready for it though. You can have everything together and you can have the application filled out completely. So if that happens to turn, you will be the first person to be able to submit it to them. We cannot control, unfortunately, the lenders. We can work with them, but the larger banks, you know, our local banks, we definitely have people that we work with one-on-one all the time. So it's a little bit easier to get a hold of them. Says, or do I just have to wait? SBDC one-on-one coach already gave me forgiveness documents. Yes, go ahead and fill that out and we can help you answer any questions with your SBDC person. David, he's asking, when does interest on EIDL advance begin to accrue? Since the EIDL advance is deducted from the forgivable portion of the PPP, loan wouldn't interest on the EIDL begin when PPP forgiveness is determined versus when the EIDL grant was dispersed. I don't know about that, the EIDL advance interest. Carrie, do you happen to know?
So that would, there's a little bit of confusion in this area, and I can't give you a definitive answer. As I understand it, that would be when that is calculated the same as that Paycheck Protection Program loan. So that's the best I can do today, and we're looking for more information on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. That makes sense that you just said that. So it's when the PPP loan was funded. That's probably when the advance money would start accruing interest as well. So as of right now, that's kind of what we're thinking is the day the PPP was funded is the day that EIDL advance would start, the time would start ticking on that. But hopefully there's more information. Hopefully there'll be a FAQ coming out from Treasury and SBA to define exactly when it starts. Anna is asking, EIDL, we don't have hazard insurance. How much can we loan EIDL without hazard insurance? So you do have to get some sort of insurance. Anna, you should call us, and that way we can walk you through this, because we need more information from you than just this statement, unfortunately. So give us a call, please, or email us, 833-ASKSBDC or ASKSBDC.com. Thank you. Let's see here. Alex, with a PPP loan funded after 6/5 for sole prop with no employees, what is the shortest period the business owner can pay themselves to qualify for 100% forgiveness? Is 8 weeks? Do the funds need to be transferred from the business bank account the loan is received to a personal bank account, such as every week or biweekly, or at the transfers not necessary because they are a sole prop? Alex, I would say that what did they normally do in the past? Did they transfer money? Did the business give them a paycheck every 2 weeks, every week, every month? You can't go less than 8 weeks. You can go 8 weeks or more. So that's the caveat on that. I would just be careful. And then how much money did they get? So there's so many more questions. You know, did they get $10,000? Did they get $15,000? Did they get $50,000? And they can also use the easy form. So I would just keep all of these documents. It may not ask for it on the application, but you're also asked to keep these documents in case you're asked. If SBA has a question once they're going through the forgiveness piece, they can ask you for these documents later on. Alex is also asking, business owners idle loan offer disappeared from the SBA portal. Is it better to contact PDCRcons at SBA.gov to reinstate the loan that disappeared or file for a new application? No, go to PDCRecons at SBA.gov unless Carrie and David have another avenue for that.
Thank you, Sunita. I would recommend the same information. Go to the PDCRecons at SBA.gov. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Gurdeep is asking PPP, can you confirm the classification types for non-payroll expenses, rent, utilities, and etc.? So you could pay your gas, electric, you could pay for rent, you could pay for mortgage interest if you leased a car or purchased a car for the business and you had that same expense previous to 215, then you can also use it for that. If you need other specifics, if there is a specific area that you're asking for, please reach out to us and then we can help you with that. And Jennifer, follow up, my bank is Fremont Bank, so a relatively small lender compared to B of A. That's great. I love that you're working with the small local lender. So David is asking, a couple of clients have returned their COVID-19 funding confirmation form and listed a bank, for example, B of A, as their idle loan lender. Did some banks assist clients with the idle loan? And is the bank really the idle lender? I haven't heard of that, David. I don't know if Carrie or David have.
I have not heard that either. The idle loan should be coming directly from SBA to the small business's bank account via the electronic funds transfer. So I'm not understanding your question beyond that. That's all I know. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe David, if you want to kind of maybe give us a document exactly what they're saying, and that way we can research it. But as of this, it comes directly from SBA. There is no other lender. Okay, we have completed 31 questions today. Does anybody else have any more questions? We have like a couple of minutes left that we can answer really quickly. Again, if you please reach out to us at 833-ASK-SBDC or ASKSBDC.com. Okay, we've got two more really quick. These are longer ones. I don't know if I'm going to get through both of them.
Be careful what you wish for, Sunita. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I'm going to answer. So Soon hasn't asked a question, so I'm going to go to Soon. Sole prop without employee, you said I can use PPP to pay 100% myself. Then how can I prove it? To send me check to myself? Prior to COVID, I transferred money from business account to personal account. That's exactly what you would do now. When I got PPP, I transferred all the funds to my personal account at one time. Do I need to transfer from personal to business? And as long as you can show that you paid yourself, that money all went to the personal account, then that's what you did. To move monies back and forth now, you can just state that at that point in time, that's what you knew the right thing to do. So just keep those documents in hand and you can complete the easy form. See here, Jennifer, can you say something about who will be attending the Wednesday office hours, which lawyers? Unfortunately, I don't have that information right now. I believe one of them is confirmed and I forget the lady's name. Do you have that?
I'm looking right now on the.
Alan will take a look at that while I answer other questions.
We've got Kate Tyler, who is a corporate law specialist. So she's been on several of the case force ones in the past. She's coming for sure. I haven't got anybody else confirmed as yet, but we normally don't get them till the day before anyway. So.
Yes, they have, you know, everyone's on vacation and this is pro bono work. So they're doing, you know, they're not charging for this. So if there are other things that they have to attend to, usually we won't find out until possibly that morning who's going to attend. But right now we know that Kate is going to be there, who does the corporate law. Ian is asking if we can repost the slide.
Done it.
Please.
Done it.
Thank you so much. You're welcome, Jennifer. And it looks like I'm going to try and answer this last question. Additional info on PPP questions. Business owner got less than 5K in PPP funds, was transferred from business bank account to personal in the past. Usually monthly, but sometimes bi-weekly. However, they do have multiple personal accounts. Is any personal bank account okay to transfer? As long as it's their personal account, then it should be okay. As long as they can document that, say, I transferred the money from my ABC Inc. to Sunita Maharaj. I am the owner. It's my personal checking account, then yes. If it's somebody else's checking account, then no. Okay. We really appreciate your time. We thank you so much for being here with us today. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, and for myself next Monday. We thank you for being here, and we enjoyed our time with you. We hope you did the same. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much to Carrie Ellenwood, David Castaneda, Mike Ballstad, and Alan Montague for being here today and assisting.
Thank you, Sunita. Fantastic work. We'll see you all. Well, not you, Sunita. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be here. I think we've got Michael's going to be covering me on Wednesday. So
Yes,
we'll see you all the things as we go along, and at the other webinars of the next week or so. Take care, everybody. Be safe.
Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you, Alan.